guys, welcome to Cake and It's Special. So that's it, summer is over and I didn't get to make it to the seaside this year, as I'm sure many of you didn't either. So I thought for this week's cake, I'm going to bring the seaside to me. So here we go. So I started off with 2 8-inch and 5 6-inch lemon cakes. I dyed half of them pink and half of them yellow. I start off with the 2 8-inch on the bottom and I set them up using lemon buttercream in between each layer. Once I'd stacked up 4 layers high, I put a 5-inch cake board in between the cakes. I'll explain why I did this later on, but trust me, it will make sense. Once all the cakes are stacked up, I'm going to put it in the fridge to chill for at least 20 minutes. This will allow the buttercream to firm up and it will make it so much easier for me to carve. While into carving, I decided that this cake was too tall, so I took off the top layer of cake. Keep working your way round, carving away as much as you need to until it is even on all sides. Once you're happy with the shape of the cake, you can then start your crumb coat. Doing a crumb coat is really important because it locks all the crumbs into the cake, so it keeps them out of the way completely when it comes to decorating. Once you've done your crumb coat, you can go ahead and put the cake back in the fridge for another 20 minutes. While that's chilling, I'm going to use this time to make the spade to go with my bucket. I roll out a cord of yellow fondant and I insert a wooden skewer straight through the centre so that I have some coming out on each end. I roll out another cord of yellow fondant and I form it into a triangle so this can then become the handle to my spade. I then insert that onto the end of the skewer. For the other end of my spade, I take a ball of yellow fondant and I press my fondant smoother into it, leaving the imprint in the fondant so that the edges are raised like it would be on a real spade. I then cut the other end off at the top to make that flat. Once I'm happy with that, I insert that on the other end of the kebab skewer and there you have your spade. I roll out a little more yellow fondant just to cover the joints like you would do on a real spade. Coat is chilled, I then go ahead and add another layer of buttercream, keeping this one as smooth as you can. So remember I put that board in when I was stacking the cake? Well, now I'm going to put dowels in the top of the cake because eventually this cake will be flipped over, so the supports will need to come from the bottom to support the cake above. Does that make sense? You'll see. It's now time for fondant. I made myself a load of orange fondant. I'm going to roll it out so that it's big enough to drape over the entire bucket. Once I drape it over the bucket, it's really important to start smoothing immediately because this cake is quite tall. The weight of the fondant will pull down and start to tear your fondant. So as soon as you lay it on top, it's important to start smoothing immediately around that top edge, securing it to the side of the cake. I smooth with my hands first. Because this cake is a rounded cake and there's no straight edges on it, I also roll up a ball of fondant and I use that to smooth the fondant on the cake. Sounds crazy, but it does work. Happy that the fondant is smooth enough, I then take some more of my orange fondant and I roll out a long cord that is going to be big enough to wrap all the way around the base of the bucket as it is at the minute. This is going to become the rim of the bucket. I roll out another thin cord of yellow fondant. This is going to be the handle for my bucket. Now I haven't turned the bucket over yet because I want to give the rim as much time to set as possible. So when I attach the handle, I have to keep in mind how it would fall naturally as I'm applying it upside down. I use a little more orange fondant to create the little buttons that clip into place that hold the handle on Seaside buckets. I'm going to leave that aside for a while to set up. And I'm going to take some white fondant with some more tylose powder in it, and I'm just going to twist it about and make some different seashells. I use the white fondant because I want to add some colour dust afterwards, so white would be a good base colour to start with. So I made a windmill for my bucket because what is making sandcastles without a windmill? So what I did for this, well, I chose two colours which were white and pink. I rolled them out separately before gluing them together. I now take a knife and cut from all four corners towards the centre, not right to the centre though. Then each quarter of the square you want to fold one corner to the halfway point. But whether you choose the left or the right corner, it has to be the same on all four. Once that is done, I lay a small ball of white fondant in the centre and put a wooden skewer through it. I would do these as far in advance as you can because the longer they have to dry, the better. So I'm now going to flip the bucket over so that it's standing the right way up, and I'm going to add all the things that I've made to it. For the sand, I just crushed up some digestive biscuits. Okay everyone, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please go ahead and subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And I will see you next Wednesday at 5 PM GMT for a brand new cake. And please share, share, share. Thank you, bye.